Kaboom.
Kaboom. What's up?
Nothing
No
much.
one can see us.
That's right. They're probably better off.
Yeah, who needs to see us, man? There we go.
Here we are.
Oh my gosh. Here we are.
Your Instagram's far from live, by the way.
I know, man. Can someone is chat here? No one's here from chat yet. Chat tech support. Chat check support.
Don't open that door, man. If they do show
Chat
up,
support. Chat. Go live. I'm trying to click. Oh, there we go. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Instagram, are you there? I think Instagram is on a delay, so that's gonna be fucking awful.
That's helpful. In case we got to hit the beep. The beep.
All right, man.
The bleeper.
Yeah, you know how I know we're on a delay? My background color is different because it hasn't changed yet. Motherfuckers. Instagram, if you guys want to see this real good.
Real good. Y'all want to see some real good.
If you want to see some real good shit, do not go to Instagram for your live shit. Go to I don't know, Twitch,
right.
YouTube. I don't know, your mom's house.
Or buy Instagram. I'm sure it's going to be for sale soon.
Yes. I think TikTok.
I'm just waiting for Elon to buy it. Or Kanye. I want Kanye to buy Instagram to then compete with Elon at X.
We have someone watching on Instagram.
I bet you do.
Yeah. It's my other host who's joined us occasionally. I have two backups. You're replaceable, Blue.
I love it that way. It's better. I'm better off that way. I want to be mysterious. One day I want to just disappear, and I just want questions.
I feel like we have new vibes from Blue. You are standing up tonight.
I'm standing up because I am too upset to sit down.
Yeah, you were saying before we got on the stream that you were upset. What's going on?
Then I'm starting to feel like some kind of a weird Gen Z millennial hybrid, man. The news is getting to me, bro. I'm like doom spiraling. I can't.
What's the what was today?
Today, what set me off today was the fucker Trump who put the pictures of a bunch of folks that he has illegally deported on the front lawn of the fucking White House in front of where the press sets up. It's fucking bargain basement bullshit, and I can't fucking stand it. That and then the doxing of the family of the albergo, whatever his name is, that got deported down to El Salvador.
Oh yeah, I saw that they got doxed.
This fucking nonsense. I fucking had it. You know what I mean? I fucking had enough.
I heard they got.
So that's what set me off today. That's it. Who knows what it'll be? You know what it'll be tomorrow? I don't know.
I mean,
I might call out of work tomorrow because of tariffs.
You might be. I think you're just a snowflake. I think you're proving the point of the opposition here, and you're a simp. What would be the word? Simp, cuck, snowflake. Can you be all three?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you're a cuck flake.
Yeah.
Gross. I feel like we're inventing new versions of Pornhub categories here. This is safe for kids. You should watch this in your car while driving with your children in the backseat at 8:30 at night on the East Coast. Yeah, I think I saw the doxing thing of Garcia's family. I was like, that's cool. Totally cool. Yeah, this is great. I'm having a moment of I too am getting a little, I started this project of talking to people online to try and be like, can we talk to people who are outside of our own little ideological bubbles? Yeah. And I might have mentioned this last time we talked was like either the comment conversations I've been getting in where people are just like cruel. Like there's just a cruelness and a meanness in the air right now. Yeah. On one side, on the other side, there's not. On the other side or in the middle or whatever, there isn't just cruelness and meanness, but there is like a cruelness and meanness of some of the supporters. There's like a Schadenfreude. There's the celebration of the suffering of others, and it's fucking disgusting. And as someone who is not just talking on the internet but thinking about these things, I'm like, how do I deal with that? How do I talk to these people? And I spend a lot of time going back and forth between how do I talk to these people and fuck these people. There's this shit. There's some dividing bright lines. I don't agree with all of the dividing bright lines, but the celebration of this shit is fucking gross. Also, the White House. Can we just talk about the yard signs for a sec? I know you sent me the link. I didn't pull it up yet.
Dude, the yard signs are wild. Like I'm not joking when I'm talking bargain basement shit. This is like it's horrifying for so many reasons on every single level. It is absolutely horrifying what they did.
Let's see if we can get
between that and the Home Depot gold painted decorations in the Oval Office.
I know we didn't even bring that in last time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up my TikTok, but people are gonna see if I pull up my TikTok how poorly I do on TikTok, and then it's gonna ruin. It's gonna ruin
The immaculate facade you have here,
the facade I've created for
the
myself.
Giga Chad reputation you have on this platform.
I am a Giga Chad here. Okay, here's what you're talking about. This shit's fucking gross. Also, White House, they have so much money. What are they doing? What are they doing?
We saw that these signs had been set up, about 100 of them, on the north lawn of the White House. They all say arrested. They've got a mugshot, and then written below a
good for the press for blocking out these people's faces, though. I mean, like, thank God that.
Most of these look like charges against Trump anyway.
Well, that's so you sent me this earlier today. I was like, yo, send me links. We're gonna go live on the internet. People need to know what we have to say, right? And I started watching this. I was like, oh, this is amazing guerrilla action, where all they did was print up the faces of Pete Hegseth, Trump,
yes,
all these fucking assholes, and put the yard signs. I was like, this is some guerrilla action shit. I'm down. Yeah. And then it continued. Unauthorized migrants. This is the photos of unauthorized migrants who've been arrested in the first 100 days of the Trump presidency. Which we know is true because there's so much truth coming out right now.
And
it's
the signs were placed
wild.
Here because, follow me, right over here is where all of the
Look, I love this reporter giving like action pointers. Like, great job, y'all.
This is like Presscella. What would you call this? Presscella? Something like that? Yeah.
Presscella. But the only thing about Presscella is, you know, they didn't have kneecap.
And she's not wearing a native headdress.
I
bet she wanted to.
Though. Is that what you call that when you buy that at Urban Outfitters, or is it called like Feather Festival Girl?
I've always gotten mine at Party City, but they're out of business now. So
they are. I tried to get balloons for my son's first birthday, and I had to go to a hardware store. Okay, wait.
You dress him up as a fucking bucket?
Dude, a hardware store where I live has, of course, has helium.
Just call it a general store because you live in the sticks. Just call it a general store.
The general store. Have you seen this, yo? Speaking of Coachella?
They have nowhere to go. It's their fucking home. And
this is the Coachella I get behind.
This is part of Irish rap band Kneecap's performance at Coachella, which has since gone viral on social media.
If you're not calling it a genocide, what the are you calling it?
Right. The trio also displayed bold messages condemning Israel's war on Gaza and criticizing continued U.S. support for Israel.
Coachella doing
the
some
performance
protest
sparked immediate controversy, with TV personality Sharon Osbourne calling for the U.S. government to revoke the band's visas, accusing them of hate speech and supporting terrorism.
She's never read the lyrics to War Pigs, apparently, by her husband. But, you know, I don't think he can really read, really. Like, let's be honest.
Conservative media outlets and pro-Israeli groups echoed these sentiments, accusing the band of anti-Semitism. Kneecap responded by defending their statements, asserting that their words were not aggressive, murdering children is.
That line.
I mean,
words are not aggressive, but murdering children is. Yeah, also an understatement. Murdering children as an aggressive thing, that's an understatement. Right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
That's a soft sell.
That's a real soft sell. Hey guys, you know what I think is kind of aggressive? Bombing and murdering tens of thousands of people in a very small strip of land where they cannot leave from. That's really aggressive. Words are just words.
And unlike the ridiculous lawn signs, we have the receipts. Like, yes. We have so many fucking receipts.
Well, there's so many receipts.
Despite facing backlash and death threats, Kneecap has also received widespread support and continues to gain popularity, with their upcoming North American tour nearly sold out.
Can I just say, y'all are sending death threats to Kneecap, right? A band that has a song that says Brits out now, right? A band that who emerges from the troubles of Ireland, and y'all are sending death threats to them because they said Free Palestine. Are you like, that's like death threats to Kneecap? That's not aggressive. Killing children is. You know what I mean?
Rewind to 2000 or even 1999, maybe 2001. Rewind to when Rage Against the Machine held a concert at MetLife Stadium. I think before it was MetLife Stadium, whatever, the Meadowlands. That was a benefit for Mumia Abu-Jamal's Legal Defense Fund. And the white frat boys who had convened from across the country could not believe that their band, Rage Against the Machine, explicitly anti-capitalist, pro-communist, Maoist maybe, but definitely postmodern. I mean, just all the things that their band could ever do such a thing as benefit a cop killer.
I mean, have you seen the TikTok trend with Rage Against the Machine recently?
No,
Oh man, I gotta find it.
man.
Anyway, we'll find it. But I mean, I remember being on a high school bus. I don't remember where the fuck I was going, but it was like all these white hat lacrosse players, like screaming Rage Against the Machine. I was like, have you? I think the song is about like your dad.
Yeah, but we're not exempt though, because listen to any hip hop and R&B from the 90s that all of the people in our parties were fucking dancing and shake their asses to, and that shit is misogynist and racist as fuck.
That's true.
So,
No, that's fair.
we like to, I mean, I didn't remember any of my friends going out and burning their R. Kelly albums in a pyre or Michael Jackson albums in a pyre. I feel like people are still kind of,
I feel like your words are aggressive. Like,
I still see people buying Kanye albums. The guy's literally out there with a fucking swastika wearing a Klansman outfit, now talking about how he is essentially gay and trans because he sucked off his cousin when he was a fucking
oh wait, hold on,
Oh.
hold on.
You don't know about this?
Hold on. Wait. What the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, his most recent song he just released, there was a whole thing, a bunch of lyrics basically describing how he and his cousin had sexual relations. And by sexual relations is he blew his fucking cousin. And
I mean,
yeah. And now he's on TikTok talking about, well, now I'm gay, so now I can talk on behalf of the gay people. So now he's like one of those like monsters. Is like biblical. Is Gollum? What's the biblical
golem
monster?
from like the mud. They're made from mud.
Absorbs everything that they touch and becomes like that in the most evil form. Like that's what he's doing.
Yeah,
yeah. He's assembling his rings of power or whatever.
Kanye, hit me up. I could pretend to be your cousin. You know what I mean? Let's get down.
I mean,
Kanye,
money, man.
I mean, I know you're already into all that like Nazi play, so like, let's fucking.
Oof. It's too much.
Can someone just rescue his wife though? Because I just feel like real uncomfortable about that.
She's a
all right. So you're down because we have fucking yard signs because the Trump administration is like, we're gonna put up yard signs of just people and be like, they're horrible,
innocent people who have not been tried for any of those
anything
theoretical crimes on the White House lawn.
Yeah. I mean, the shit that got me this week, last night, and I feel like this is everywhere because like, how could it not be? But like this thing that I was talking about at the top, which is like just like fucking like the cruelty, the celebration of cruelty. 2 American children sent to Honduras with an undocumented mother. The children, 4 and 7, were put on a plane. Okay, so this is a different headline than I saw this morning, which was children 2 and 4 and 8 deported, one of whom has cancer. Are we talking about Kanye now? Melina Cantagayo wants to know. Are we talking about Kanye? No, we've moved on from Kanye, Melina. We're talking about
they're on the Instagram delay.
Yeah, the Instagram delay. That's what's happening. So we're talking about the 2 American children sent quote unquote sent to Honduras with their undocumented mother. I read it as deported, and I read that as just fucking cruel, right? Like this is just cruel, right? Because in one of these cases, the dad was like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm not undocumented. Like, can my kids stay?" And they're like, "Oh, sorry. The courts opened after the plane left in the morning, so like our bad." And then I heard a politician, I don't know if it was fucking Vance or some other fucker, who was like, "Well, they can always just come back if they're documented. It's not a big deal." Yeah, it's a big fucking deal. They're 2 and 4. They're children. And
on like an extreme set, like one of them's on a pretty advanced cancer treatment state.
Yeah, really advanced cancer treatment. Chat says to bring back Kanye. I actually think Kanye should be. Maybe Kanye could trade with one of these kids. You know what I mean? Like, could we send Kanye to Honduras, or is that's just as bad because he is a citizen of the United States? And newsflash: deporting citizens of the United States for without due process. I mean, we're talking. This is fucking crazy. So here's the thing, right? I have a theory, Alejandro. We are getting serious tonight. This is not some funny shit.
No,
Internet's
no funny shit.
Fucking pull up your pants, buckle your belts. It's getting very serious tonight. I know that. Oh, look, there's people. We have fans who know each other.
Right.
Xerox Tony's up in the chat. Sensitive
Yep.
topic for him. Doesn't have a dad. That's cool. I can be your dad. I'm your old dad. And we have JP, who remembers Xerox from last time. Chat, welcome. It's good to see you. We have 4 people on Twitch and YouTube. We have several people on Instagram. This shit is exploding. Look,
About community building.
y'all, look, have you heard of Hassan Piker? We need to be better than Hassan Piker. We need to be bigger, okay? Xerox, Tony, and JP in the chat. It's a little love affair. Okay, 2 children, right? Here's my theory, Blue. So we're sending kids to Honduras without the parents, right? We're testing this, right? So first, we already have other people who've been deported who shouldn't have been deported, right? Now we're going to take people who are citizens and we're going to test it on those who are vulnerable. Like 2-year-old is not going to be like, don't deport me, because, hopefully they don't know how to say deported at 2, right? And then at the same time, we have this fucking weirdo, right? The DOJ is going to investigate doctors who provide trans care to minors, Attorney General says, right? Pam Bondi is going to use the U.S. laws against female genital mutilation to prohibit doctors from providing certain care to transgender youth. So 2 things here. 1, Pam Bondi, why are you thinking about children's genitals so much? It's creepy. Girl,
it's a Florida
creepy.
Thing. It's a Florida thing. And,
it's true. That is true. It is a Florida.
With respect to our friends in Florida, I feel like it's a Florida thing.
You think that just people in Florida think about children's genitals all
I
the
think
time?
there's something.
You're picking people in Florida have guns. You're picking a real big fight here.
I'm not worried. They're not going to make it up here. They can't drive up here. The Floridians can't drive. So I'm not worried.
That's true. No. Stay in Florida. Stay Florida. So Pam Bondi, in addition to just being a fucking Barbie lookalike fucking weirdo motherfucker, is like thinking about our kids' genitals, right? Now, as a father, that's scary and creepy, right? And they're going after trans kids around using this law of female genital mutilation. So let's go look at the figures, right? And this is an argument I hesitate to make because I think the argument that like why are people so focused on trans people? They're only 3% of the population. I feel like that's a little bit of like that's bad because we should actually protect all people, no matter what percentage of the population they are. They could be 1%. They could be 0.5%. And I understand the inclination because these fucking weirdo sickos are like, I'm gonna choose this thing that most people don't have a relationship to because it is such a small percentage of the population, and I'm gonna fucking make that shit scary to them, and they'll never know because they're never gonna actually meet a trans person because wherever they live, right? Like if there's only 3%, right? So then, and like you and me, like you live in a major metropolitan area, I live outside a major metropolitan area. Guaranteed, you and I saw trans people today at some point in our lives where like fucking bro and we're in Kansas, maybe not, right? So they're being very strategic about this, but the other thing they're doing is they're going after kids. So deporting kids, going after kids who are seeking medical care. Right? Now, if you look up the numbers, and I'm going to do the thing I don't always like, if you look up the numbers, the amount of kids who've had gender affirming surgery who are trans, 0.
Yes.
0.
Yeah.
The amount of kids who have had gender affirming surgery, if they're, for example, cis boys who grew breasts, that's who's having gender affirming surgery, right? And it is still gender affirming surgery, right? Yeah. This is a biological thing that is happening, and I'm going to change that biological thing, right? Yeah. And so I think this is the thing. So we're going to go after kids in all these cases and test this shit out. So the scary thing around the trans stuff here is like, they're going to test this out. They're not, and the law they're using is against female genital mutilation, not children female genital mutilation. Like this is all weather balloon shit, right? Right? Sheeple, wake the fuck up, sheeple.
Well, this is 2 things. This is so that's on the corner. So this is like so that's one side of the coin, right? The other side of their fucking coin is the Israeli playbook, right? The Zionist playbook. Because right now they are still referring to the people, the victims of their illegal deportation scheme. And they are still referring to the human beings who are born of other human beings in this country as children. But soon enough, right, as some of our chat has pointed out, there are going to be some amount of Republicans who may have an issue with this question of children, and we are not far away from the same the same thing that Trump is doing, right, to equivocate immigrants with animals and beasts and less than human, to do that with children, which is what the Zionist Israeli government has figured out to do to a T, right? The complete dehumanization of a people, of a civilization, of everything, in their efforts to eradicate them, right? So this is, I think so the next thing that we're going to see, right, is that these aren't children. These are, because essentially, even what's his face, fucking evil fucking Magoo, I can't even think of a good name for him, but
Elon Musk,
HS douchebag, was talking about, oh yeah, well she chose to take her children with them,
right? Yeah, exactly. No,
she
chose.
border, she could have left her kids here, like they're fucking, like, as if they're nothing, right? Like as if they're not fucking humans that deserve.
As if they're not humans.
It's a complete dehumanization thing, and I think with this, it's the same thing, right? I mean, the in this case, on the trans issue, they're making up. They're not only are they dehumanizing trans existence and trans people, they are literally making up. This is the same thing as like the cat, the so-called the kids who dress up as cats and need litter boxes in their middle schools, like that nonsense. Like they're just fabricating a reality.
No, it's fabrication, right? And for the chat, Xerox Tony, keep your anti-Semitism out the chat. I know.
One last thing I'll say this: if you look, and so you start building all the, I'm talking about, next week's gonna be fucking foil hats, bro, because the biggest hit to NPR and the biggest hit to PBS is not going to be in the urban areas, because all of the fucking like liberal, effete, rich motherfuckers will continue to donate. But who's going to get most impacted by that is going to be the rural areas. And it's those rural areas who now actually don't have a countervailing set of news.
That's right.
To show them anything other than what the right wing MAGA is teaching them. And one last thing I'll say.
You know what?
Won't be the last thing, but I'm going to say last thing, is that I just discovered that our friends at Meta, the same people we are broadcasting live on, in Canada, when they were told that they could not do news without having to pay some sort of a tax, they said, we are no longer going to allow any news to go out. So instead, what has happened is that in Canada, the right wing has created a whole suite of fake news-looking advertisements.
Oh, yeah.
That people are consuming as real news.
Yeah. No, but I mean, same thing in the US.
Not allowed, has decided not to program any news into any of their feeds.
Well, no, same thing in the US. You have this whole, it's called Pink Slime in the US. You have this whole network of fake local news sites, right? So I live in Kanye cousin kissing Missouri, right? And in Kanye kissing cousin Missouri, there's a Kanye kissing cousin Missouri Courier. God, why did I choose Kanye kissing Missouri? Kanye cousin kissing. Look, I had rum. It's hard to say that shit. That's not right. Someone get Kanye on the phone. Kanye. But they start these fake local sites, and there's no real news. There's no local news. It all is just a funnel up to some right-wing fucking shit. And the real, like if we want to get generational here, right? At least the kids are like, I'm gonna go to TikTok, right? And there's some algorithm crossover. I'm gonna go to Instagram. But you get like the fucking boomers who have a relationship to the news, right? It's news, so it's institutional. There is a check-in. There is a fucking editorial board. There is a relationship to the news as a trusted source, and you put them on the internet, and their brains just get fucking cooked. Holy shit. JP says holy shit. Chat, what do you think of pink slime? Pink slime. You can look it up. I'm not going to look it up for you, because when I start doing shit, I can't participate in this fucking wonderful conversation with my friend Blue. All right, so we're going to keep going on the fucking horribleness of the world, because that's the night we are having over here. So this is what we got. 2 hour point. ICE is seeking out unaccompanied immigrant children to deport or prosecute. What the fuck? Children. They're going after children. Did you ever see Inglourious Bastards with with Brad Pitt, that beautiful man? You saw
I sure
that
don't.
in the opening scene.
Apparently, he doesn't shower often. I heard that he smells very badly on
Brad
set.
Pitt.
Yeah.
I'd smell Brad Pitt.
Word on the street. Word on the street. He's
Brad
musky.
Pitt.
The ladies don't love it.
Brad Pitt. You heard it here.
Where's
Come
someone
on.
else to hear for it?
The opening scene of *Inglourious Bastards*. There's the Jew hunter, and he goes into a house, and he's basically hunting children.
Yeah.
I do not like when leftists go, this is like the Nazis, because we lose all credibility, because leftists like to say all sorts of shit is like the Nazis. It's not like the Nazis, right? They like to say like, well, I can't get my latte. What is this? Nazi Germany, right? Like the leftists like to fucking roll out the Nazi shit all the time. And yet I have queued up a game for us tonight, and the chat can play. Chat, you can play this as well. I don't know who Marielle is. You can play this as well, chat. This is the game. Who said it?
Adolf Hitler or Trump?
JD Vance or Goebbels? Goebbels?
You mean just kill the Pope Vance?
Goebbels? Oh, I mean, okay, we're not even getting into the Vance killing the Pope tonight, y'all.
Jorgen the Penis Vance?
So who said it? JD Vance or Goebbels?
Not the guy who made baby food. There's a couple of folks here me lacking context.
Yeah, Goebbels is spelled Goebbels. I know it's fucking German. It's spelled Nazi. You know what I mean? Fuck the Nazis. Okay. Who said it? Chat, Blue, here we go. The feminization of men always leads to the masculization of women. Was that a Nazi or was that JD Vance? You know.
That's Julius Caesar, but also JD Vance.
That's JD Vance. So
that sounds like something he would put in the fucking Yale brochure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He'd be like, join Skull and Bones. The feminization of men always leads to the masculinization of women. That's why Kanye is trans, is this line right here.
That's exactly right.
Because he had sexy time with his cousin.
That's right.
Goebbels like the rat, not Goebbels like the rat.
Melina. It's a hard G, not a soft G.
So we got JD Vance, incorrect. Goebbels said this in a speech about women in the 1930s. The feminization of men leads to masculinization of women.
Does that say that we're idiots for not knowing who had that quote, or does that say that we know that JD Vance is so fucking evil he's capable of doing it?
No, that says like we get to say that they're Nazis now. That's what the whole point of this game is.
Okay,
you ready?
Okay, got it.
Okay, one more. Okay, who said it? Hey, look, don't kink shame. How am I kink shaming? Oh, because of Kanye. Okay. Goebbels are rodents, not rats. Oh my god, the chat is deep. The chat is deep on mouse talk. Can you guys keep it about Nazis? Okay. The woman is the teacher of the youth and therefore the builder of the foundation of the future. If the family is the nation's source of strength, the woman is its core and center.
That's 100% JD Vance.
That's Goebbels.
No way.
That's Goebbels.
I mean, also way, but
Goebbels. That's Goebbels. Right? And in this case, I mean, think of the whole trans point and the whole thing that freaks them out, right? You think this could be JD Vance. In this case, the woman is only the core of the family, is the core of the nation, only if they can give birth. So it's not even about trans women. It's about like fucking fertility. This is why they're so fucking freaked out about all this shit.
I mean, women, am I right?
Hey, when you go to the polls in this country as a parent, you should have more power than the people who don't have kids. Let's face the consequences and the reality. If you don't have as much investment in the future of this country, maybe you shouldn't get nearly the same amount of voice. Who said that?
JD Salinger.
JD Salinger, Catcher in the Rye, page 98. Thanks for playing. Chat, you did great, beautifully. JP says, well, it kind of says that we are living in the times that look a little like the Weimar Republic. JP, I feel like you got a little heavy on the history. The chat is kind of talking about gerbils, but this is post Weimar Republic, my friend. Look it up. This is post Weimar Republic. This is post fucking Hitler coming into his little chancellorship, all that stuff. All right, it got serious. Okay. Blue, I've been wanting to talk to you about something. Oh, our boy Tim Buckingham joined from Kentucky on Instagram.
Look at this guy.
Shout out to Kentucky. He's not going to hear it for 30 seconds because there's like a fucking delay here.
From KC.
Tim from KC. All right. I feel like Kim from KC, KC, yeah,
TB from KC, who Kim
TB from KC, yeah, should talk to JPJP, who's on YouTube. They're cross-platform because one owns a liquor store and one works at a brewery, or just brewery, not this. Yeah, okay, all right, stick with me, Blue. I know. Okay, wait. I got shit for you, Blue. What do you know about dark woke?
Dark woke. Dark woke feels like when I get up at night to pee,
Yikes.
and I do that thing where I open up my eyes and I check the time, and then I'm awake in the dark. That's what that feels like. I think that's what you're talking about.
Let me ask you this though. This is a really important question. When you get up to pee in the middle of the night, do you turn the light on, or do you
God, no.
do you hope that you make
God,
it
no.
so you can go back to sleep?
No, 9 times out of 10, I have no idea what the fuck is where any of that is landing. I leave that problem for the morning.
You leave that for tomorrow, Blue, not today, Blue, not tonight, Blue.
Yeah.
So dark woke. This came out in the New York Times last week. Democrats are trying new attitudes, provocative, edgy, and perilous, towing the line of not being too offensive. Thank you, New York Times, for describing to the elite, liberal elites who read the paper that when we are rude, we can still be liberal, I guess.
I will not be a subject to any derivative, comedic bullshit from the New York Times that associates me with Elon's dark MAGA nonsense.
But it's associating you with woke. You got to. Can you choose?
I'm
choose?
aura farming. I'm keeping it real, and I'm here for the vibes. I'm not dark woke anything.
You're not dark woke?
I'm not dark woke.
This is basically the New York Times being like, you're going to hear some of us saying things, wealthy Democratic donors, but don't get too scared. You should still give us money, right? Like, that's what this is fucking happening.
Makes it so much worse. That's so disgusting.
Right? That's what that is.
Oh.
That's what this is.
Oh, that's some house servant shit right there.
Yes, that's what this is. And of course, they call out Jasmine Crockett, who's been going fucking wild in all of her committees, right? Okay. I'm going to take us down. I'm going to curate this journey for you. I know this is not necessarily your favorite journey.
Okay.
So then I know that you've seen this, right? Maybe you haven't. Media Matters. The right dominates the online media ecosystem, seeking into sports, comedy, and other supposedly non-political spaces. Look, y'all, if you told me and Blue we could be this could be the top 10 streaming service if we went right wing, bro.
But you know why we're idiots? I'll tell you why we're idiots. Because we should have learned from the same history these idiots are deriving their success from that they actually probably didn't read up on at all.
Yeah.
Because all you need to do is go back to the late 1800s, early 1900s, when our friends, the International Workers of the World, the Wobblies, were busy organizing in fucking shops across the fucking planet. They had one job that was always part of the bargaining unit, and that job was reader. They had one person that would sit and read the fucking newspaper for the 75-hour shift where people were fucking banging out nails from sheet metal, right? And that's what these podcasts are. This is the fucking filler nonsense. This is like while we're just having Netflix play in the background.
Yes.
This is what these fucking fools are listening to.
Oh yeah, no, I know, because my fucking brain is cooked from COVID and all that shit. So I'm used to just having Netflix in the background when I'm doing shit. And now I've tried to start putting this shit in the background so I can understand what the fuck most people in this country are fucking paying attention to. And you know what I think really helps us when we go, oh, it's the right. I think that's really helpful. Because then that means we don't have to fucking touch it. We don't have to go near it.
Ugh.
But your boy.
Listen.
Did you see this? Did you see this? Hold on. What happened? What happened?
Oh no, what'd you do?
Can someone get us a producer? What the fuck's going on here? God damn it. Here we go. Did you see this?
The time I came out, right?
Mm-hmm. This was after you got back from Afghanistan.
So for you, Blue, and chat, this is one of the most right-wing podcasts out there, right? This is what's it called?
Unfamiliar, some stupid name.
right? It was flagrant.
Flagrant, officially flagrant. There it is. Flagrant, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
What happened? What did you eat out there?
No, honestly, what happened was when you get deployed,
Y'all,
they
that's
tell you to write a letter.
Buttigieg.
I still have it in a
Buttigieg.
drawer somewhere. It just says just in case on the outside.
Wow.
And it's everything from that you want your loved ones to know, from your internet passwords to like how you feel your life went. So I got deployed while I was in office, and I just took a leave, stopped being mayor, started being lieutenant, and went into my other job, basically. I was the sitting mayor of my hometown. I had a beautiful house. I had good friends. I had like a good life.
Can we just say for a second? Do you think Pete Buttigieg grew out this whole beard situation just for the show? Because he's like, I'm going on the right wing bro podcast.
Absolutely.
Look, because
Absolutely.
you know,
And that was part of what I wrote about in that letter. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking, all right, but I'm a grown-ass man, and I don't actually know what it's like to be in love. And if I get back...
how much is the host right now being like, do you think he'll blow me afterwards in the green room?
I need to know about the music that's playing.
I mean, they made it. This is on Andrew Schultz, the host's his fucking Instagram.
I'm not going to let that continue. Like, whatever the implications, I'd rather deal with that than once again contemplate the idea that I could go to my grave not knowing what it's like to be in love. Right around the time I came.
So, Pete Buttigieg went on one of the top right-wing podcasts, right?
Right.
And then you have Andrew Schultz.
Love is love.
Is not a right-wing MAGA lunatic. Says having Donald Trump on podcast didn't impact election. America had made up its own mind by then, right?
Listen, Bill Mayer goes to dinner with Trump, right? He has dinner with Hitler. Schultz has dinner with Buttigieg.
Yeah. What's gonna happen?
I don't know. We're flipping. Who knows? This is a flip of the coin. This is like complete like a reversal situation.
Well, my whole point is like,
I also think Schultz is upset that he may have been his cards, all of his various cards in the black and in the brown community and all that stuff may have been revoked during this most recent election. And I do think that he's probably feeling the pinch of that particular set of community because I think they hold a cultural value to him that goes above the money that he's making on the right wing.
Who do you think is getting back at him?
I just think that, he was always sort of like the crass white boy that would say the outlandish shit during his comedy routines, but he would get a pass from black and brown and women, for whatever, he was just like the kind of crazy white boy, right? He kind of like got a pass for a million different reasons until he went full in on this fucking Trump shit. This nonsense about like, oh, the country had already shifted, so I just went with them is fucking the weakest shit you could say.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Well, but I think also, like, as JP said in the chat, bring us ideas. How is this a right wing podcast, right? And I think the idea that you label these, like, this is the thing, right? So you have this, and you have the dark woke shit, right? So you have dark woke. You have the New York Times explaining to the liberal elites, don't worry, we're going to say some things and it might, don't stop writing checks, And you have Media Matters being like, here are the top 10, and they quote unquote lean right? And you have Pete Buttigieg being like, I'm going to go on one of these podcasts and talk to them like a fucking human being. So this kind of gets back to one of the things I was talking about earlier, is like, at what point are you like, this is a bright line, you don't cross it, fuck you, I'm going to punch you in the face? And at what point are you like, I'm going to fucking talk to you and see what happens, right? So I think you're right. Like, I don't know about Andrew Schultz and his like walking shit back. I do know what you're saying about his like whole comedy trajectory and like being the white guy who'll say shit. Like, it's him, and there's another dude from New York who's actually married to a Dominican woman. I can't remember his name right now.
I want to see Donald Trump on the Eric Andre show. That for me would be an interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Or what the fuck is his name? The TikTok dude with the shaved head. Anyway. But I think the point here is that none of this, like, the liberal elites have coded this stuff themselves as right wing. Right? They've coded this as right wing and are then therefore like, well, I'm not going to go on it. I'm not going to actually go on this shit.
No.
And if you watch this whole interview with fucking Pete Buttigieg, there's like a really interesting back and forth about like economic populism and how billionaires are fucking people over and that, like, all that kind of shit.
The thing that makes it, I think, the JP's got a question. How does it make it a right wing podcast? I think to me, there's a thing here around the thing. I agree with this question about whether it's a right. I actually don't agree that it's a right wing podcast. I think that the moment that they're open to others and they're not just setting them up, that's what makes it not a left or a right wing. And by the way, this liberal fucking institutional bullshit is not left. So let's not fucking confuse that. I mean, I think we need to get out of this like idea. There's the right and there's the middle that's in power, and the middle right that's in power. And then there's the actual left, right, which is not in power. There's few little people who are inspired by the left, but none of us are really in power.
No.
The fact that he's bringing on Buttigieg, right, is a demonstration that, like, Joe Rogan is fucking a terrible human, and he actually, he brings on a whole variety of fucking loonies. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that he's right wing. I just think the right wing really loves him because they're able to weaponize a bunch of the shit that he says because he's so conspiratorial. But from a political perspective, I don't think it's neither here nor there, right? And like Neil deGrasse Tyson, who I love, is a total scientist, person of color, all this fucking great stuff. He's constantly, one of the things we don't give enough respect to is Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's constantly navigating these loony bin right wing podcasts, fucking dropping knowledge on their head like a fucking hammer about that the earth is round. He's still out there convincing people.
Look, this is the bright line.
It's fucking round.
We found the fucking bright line. The earth is not round. We are surrounded by a giant ice wall in a big circle. Jesus Christ. It took us to this far to figure out the earth is flat, man. No, I'm with you. I think this is the thing. And Joe Rogan's gone totally fucking galaxy, right? Early days, not as crazy, not as whatever. He's high in his own supply. And also, like, wasn't a right winger.
No, he was just shoving cockroaches in people's mouths.
And I think this is the part that's interesting about, like, okay, in this cultural moment, I also think the JP says the earth is flat as fuck. You lost me on this one. What's a subscriber? There goes my monetization. God damn it.
See you on the flip side, JP.
Yeah. What's on the underside? What's on
the bottom?
What's on the bottom?
What's on the bottom? What's flat earthers? I want to know what's on the bottom of the earth.
But I mean, this whole thing, right? So, like, do you listen to Theo Von's podcast?
I love it. I religiously.
Do you?
I have a portrait of him in the corner. No, I don't really fucking listen to Theo Von. He's a douchebag. I watched the fucking clips on TikTok of his nonsense.
Well, this is the thing. I've listened to his podcast. It's not great long form shit.
No.
But the short clips are fucking wild.
Sure.
Because
and this show is none of those. Neither long nor short.
This is a medium form. This is a medium form. Y'all don't get it twisted. This is not long form nor short form. This is medium form. But so Theo Von is like, right? So like I'm gonna carry this through. I'm gonna beat this horse until it's really fucking dead here. But this is so the New York Times, yet again, Theo Von, right? Okay. One of the defining conversations of media's new MAGA-friendly mainstream, but it can be harder to pin down politically and culturally than his broadcast peers, right?
Okay,
cool.
Is John Mulaney on there?
Yeah, John. These are his guests: John Mulaney, Trump, Bernie, Chalamet, and
it's Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, and is that Candace Owen on top left?
I don't know any black women by their first names.
Oh, right. That's the wrong show.
Only by the culture they produce.
So
I only owe them absolutely everything, but I don't know them.
You don't know who they are. So, oh look, the subscriber count just went down by 3. So in this trend of the New York Times explaining shit to us, right? In the trend of the elite, the liberal elite, like the definition of the fucking liberal elite explaining shit to us about dark, woke, and fucking all this shit, right? We have this. Theo Von dismantles an interview show, right? Do you know who Theo Von interviewed this week?
This week? Was it dude from Gemstones? No, that's, I think, an older interview. That's all I've been seeing on my TikTok.
So I only listened to about 20. I listened to 20 minutes of this because if you could listen to more than 20 minutes of Mark Zuckerberg talking about anything, I don't know. I don't know.
Gross.
But this is just an example of the fucking. This is really good. So I'm just gonna pull this up because this just demonstrates how much this guy's a fucking tool.
Go for it.
Since you're
Go for
I'm
it.
going to say the word really fast just so it's like a
so we won't dwell on it, but since you're a billionaire, is it tough to take your wife on a date? Like at that, like, do you have to live up to a standard, or what's like a nice date night? What is that like?
I don't know. No, I think she's pretty chill.
She's a chillionaire, huh?
Well, come on, that's peak. That's really good. She's a chillionaire. Chat, chillionaire. Come on.
Sorry, that's a horrible
there you
joke.
go.
My niece will like it.
Yeah, there you go. No, I mean, I think the main thing for me is like life is busy. There's like a million things that I could be doing at any given point in time. I just think it's important to like
dying.
take time, each week. Like, Wednesday night, we really
He just asked a billionaire, what do you do for a fancy date night? This is the answer we're getting.
try to have a date night. Try to hang out with the kids and put them to bed every night. It's like that. That's just like an important.
Hilarious. JP in the chat.
Why is he saying night with a hard T? Fuck this robot, dude.
Dude, JP in the chat. Zuck is giving strong hello fellow kids vibes.
He's so
part of my
gross.
routine. I think that's important stuff to do. But no, I mean, we try to like go out somewhere, but every once in a while we'll just cook or eat at home.
Or eat at
that's
home
all
because our
Every
cook
once in a while.
cooked for us. Our cook cooked for us.
good. The UFC stuff I think is probably more for me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is
UFC
where
is for the boys, baby.
wait. This is the brilliance of Theo Von, though, and this is why you should watch Theo Von and not. I mean, maybe he is a douchebag, but this is like
He's no Bill O'Reilly. I'll say that.
you ready? Out of nowhere, Theo Von, minute 17 of this interview.
You're like a damn emperor, dude. Is that?
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
You're like a damn emperor, dude. Watch Zuck.
Feel like
no,
that
no,
ever?
No. Man, it's like I feel like I wish that people did what I wanted them to
poor
do.
me.
It's
I
like
wish
that would
people
be
did
that
what
would be
they
fun.
wanted-
But
I
in the
wanted them to
meantime, you
do.
can have some fun.
Yeah.
He's so
Oh,
episode
yeah, I
3
would
of
have a
Star
chopper.
Wars.
I don't even know what I would have. I would have an underground tunnel.
So wait, this is the brilliance. This is the man that people are like, oh, he's making MAGA mainstream. He's talking to Mark Zuckerberg, says to him, totally like carefree, you're like a fucking emperor. And Zuck is like, "Bah, bah, 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 bah." And he goes, man, if I was an emperor, I would have an underground tunnel. That's not MAGA. That's fucking dumb. That's not MAGA. That's dumb.
As the chat is saying, he's very unserious. He's an unserious right wing. I don't know if he's right wing.
He's not right wing.
He's just a dope. But he does lean. He does lean in a particular direction. But I don't know if that's as much a result of the right wing being just full of like money and dummies, or more of a result of like the left being full of fucking like academic effete.
But I think that's
what
what it is. I think the culture that like Media Matters and New York Times is being like, oh, that's right wing culture. It just generally is like kind of a working class culture.
Yeah,
it's a particular
really
type of working class
yeah,
culture
it's
for
not.
sure. These are all bros. It's like a dude working class culture shit. Like Theo Von is the epitome of like poor trashy white dude Southern culture. Like that's his shit. And he plays
and Southern in that way that he's open to have a porch conversation with somebody who doesn't fundamentally fucking understand, and he's not going to get all riled up when he doesn't understand somebody. He's going to keep whatever, like he's just going to sit there and engage. He's kind of like that kind of a human, right?
Yeah, no, he's like a fucking puppy dog who will say random shit.
Yeah.
But the New York Times is like, well, he's part of the right wing MAGA sphere, but he's maybe a little bit different. He's maybe an idiot savant. He's maybe brilliant because
But
they have to.
Fucking BB a genocidal fucking animal. So fuck the New York Times. I mean,
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm
fucking
saying.
labeled Theo Von. Who the fuck gives a shit about Theo Von? He is not, to my knowledge, wiped out entire fucking villages of innocent fucking Palestinians in his entire fucking lifetime. But we're sitting here, we're like BB this and BB that in Israel, and they just attack some Hamas militants, and it's a fucking hospital, fucking innocent children. I'm sorry, I lost my cool.
Did you wait? Did you lose your cool for a second?
Oh no, that was it was a glitch.
No, but I think like you're tapping into the thing that I think is actually the thing that's been getting under my skin for the last few weeks is like you have on one side the administration's creep of authoritarianism, right? The weather ballooning, the fucking dehumanization of immigrants, the dehumanization of trans people. You have all this real fucking shit, right? And then you have the culture section of this elite media institution, pretending as though they have not been surpassed by other media institutions, other fucking independent media institutions, being like, let's analyze these other independent media institutions and not actually do the shit that we like. I mean, it's my fault for reading the New York Times culture beat and not other shit. But they're like their last gasp, the liberal elites, like maybe the only good thing about the internet, TikTok and Instagram and fucking Zuckerberg is it's actually broken down the walls of the liberal elite control of the media, and it's created something else. The critique of what's been created is flat. It's not dynamic. It doesn't actually understand the differential experiences that people have, the different cultures that people. I mean, you and I talk about this all the time, which is like, yeah, if you're growing up working class in New York City, even if you're a leftist, you're telling jokes about race to your friends. And you're clowning each other on race, or you're clowning each other on gender, or you're clowning each other on sexuality.
Yeah.
But you're clowning each other within a working class culture where the people are looking out for each other, where you're building towards something. And this shit is like, you just entered into a place where people are clowning on each other, and it's now being projected out into space, right? It's now being projected out. And it's like the thing you said about the Wobblies, where you had someone sitting there reading in the factory floor while people are working, here's the shit every day. Like, we get these dudes, we get these jokers, and the left cultural institutions are over here being like, oh, have you heard of dark woke? And the other cultural institutions that maybe are right because the right will fuck with them, but not because they're necessarily right, are like, if I was an emperor, I would have a fucking secret tunnel, bro.
We're yeah. Yes.
Speaking of Instagram, we are getting more viewers. We got our homie Carolyn, we got our homie Sasa, we got our homie
The trade.
we got West Coast Jung Hee contingent out here.
Warriors.
We got Amanda.
Trade. We've got power building people. I love all of it.
Okay, so you got. That's it. I ran out of all my shit for the night because I was like, I'm gonna do a tirade about dark woke and New York Times, but here we are. we haven't gone far from where we started tonight. I don't know, chat. How are we doing? How are we doing? We haven't been seen you in a week and a half. It's been a rough week and a half out here. Oof. Blue and I are both at the end of our ropes when it comes to the fucking news that's happening out here.
I can't. The well, Elon's deciding to pull away from Doge, so that's something.
That dude needs to pull away from a lot more things.
Well, hold 12,
I mean, he needs to
12 of his baby mamas. But I'll say this. The other thing too is interesting is that whatever. It's like the kind of shit we know is like we've been in some positions of like leadership in a fucking company or organization or whatever this is, right? Like, the amount of money that it is costing the federal government to deal with the sudden layoffs and firings is about to fucking completely overcome the so-called savings that were made by having all these people fired.
Say more.
So that's just what it is, right? Like there are costs associated with firing people versus like people quitting, right? So that's one thing. But the other thing I'm thinking about is what's left, right? How is any of this stuff when all of this is emptied out and there are no more federal agencies to fucking administer anything anymore? Like, what is left?
What is left?
And it's not, and unfortunately, I think the answer is not the left at this moment. So I don't know.
Well, what is it?
It's a provocation more than
what is the left is the real fucking question. It's not the New York Times. The New York Times is the fucking neoliberal elite who are out here being like, well, my feelings are hurt. No, and my feelings are hurt by the words of Theo Von. But as you said, we're doing full circles today. It's circles on circles. Time is a fucking spiral.
That's right.
Right? So like if we go all the way back to Kneecap and what they said, right, is like words are not aggressive. Killing children is aggressive. Right? Okay. So we have the liberal elite who are like, oh no, these people use the wrong words and they sound not so smart. But me, right? Maybe they own a gun, right? And then you have the same liberal elite institutions being like, "That's cool, BB. Go forth."
Mm.
BB is a nice sounding name, so I'm not upset about it. You know, it sounds like baby. It sounds like a drag queen saying baby to somebody.
Ugh.
Like if you've been backstage at a drag show, that's what. Oh, BB. That's what's happening, right? Like this is the problem with the fucking. This is the problem. Is like there's a politeness about the elites that doesn't let them say, "Hey, BB, this BB motherfucker is a motherfucker," right?
Yeah.
Like that's why it's fucking funny that Kneecap is getting death threats for saying "fuck Israel." Oh shit, JP. Theo Von was just deployed in Israel. Unclear which side he is fighting for.
But I hear he's in the tunnel digging pavilion.
He's
Battalion.
he's just on the tunnel brigade. Whoever gave him a shovel first, he's
It's like a very World War One fucking
he's just like full like tunnels in Vietnam.
battling the Austrian
Regardless,
prince
they'll get caught.
somewhere, just building
Dude
tunnels.
is full on, man. Oh, Melly's confused in the chat. Oh, but this is the thing, right? And then the question is, because you said this last time or a few times ago, right? We have AOC and her mom jeans touring with fucking Bernie, right? The closer you get to power, the more corrupted you are, right? Like this is like the biggest fucking cliche of anything, right? But like it's very real, and in order to play the elite games of politics, you have to get close to the elite. I mean, this is the allure of Trump and his fucking weirdo crew is like they're not elites. They're like Trump is an anti-elite. He wants to be an anti-elite. He's not an anti-elite because he has so much fucking money and he's a billionaire and gives a fuck about people. But culturally, the dude is an anti-elite. Like he went to fucking
He's
McDonald's.
the pervert. He's the guy who was caught jerking off underneath that really long table at Bretton Woods when his father and his grandfather were making deals, right? Like this is the dude that would go on these like super elite fucking, retreats to wherever in the fucking world. Or maybe not even that. Actually, maybe I'm over glamorizing. His father was a douchebag slumlord
Yeah.
in New York, right? I mean,
No,
just
that's
kept
real.
people in poverty and fucking didn't give a shit about any of them. But he was, Trump's been in this kind of like weird realm. I mean, the guy doesn't know. I mean, to quote one of the Netflix shows, now I'm forgetting the name, but it's like he doesn't know shit about fuck. Like he doesn't. He's just
No.
he doesn't know anything. He's as you know what it is. He's as classy as those fucking lawn signs are outside the fucking White House.
Yeah.
And the guy has been constantly trying to be that that class by out moneying. Right, this is what makes him a con man, right? Like to out moneying the wealthy people that he's been exposed to. His whole fucking perspective or his whole angle has been to like con people out as much money as he possibly could to have more money and more power than they have. And he did. He conned the biggest fucking economy in the world and became our president twice.
It's wild. It's wild. So back to my initial question, we were circling. It's fucking It's not a spiral. Time is not a spiral. We're just circling the drain. It's fucking Tuesday.
It is a drain.
It's Monday at 9:20 on the East Coast. I don't know. What at this moment today, your anger and frustration at where we are in the news that's coming out in these fucking yard signs, and my like disdain for the elites and their fucking cultural control of the left and its orientation to shit. Like, who do we talk to? Because like that's the like, do you try and convince? Like I guess because I'm deep on this experiment of trying to fucking engage in the comments and TikTok and Instagram of these people who come at me. Maybe they're the organized opposition and they're not the middle. Like JP on here, I think would probably think of himself maybe more of the middle, who feels alienated from the left because the left draws hard lines around certain things and is not a right winger by any stretch. Like where do we go and who do we bring? Who are we extending the kindness to that we would love to see extended to others?
We extend it to all people. We don't do the discriminating piece. And our job is not to convince. Our job is to thrive and to survive. And that, in some cases, that may mean, right, like dying and going underground. In other cases, it may mean trying to infiltrate and assault the opposition. In other cases, it may mean trying maybe perhaps to convince or at least lead in the sort of virtuous way of like lead by example. That's all we have. We don't have enough fucking power to think that we can discriminate how we're going to disseminate our message and purpose in life. We don't have that. The rich people, the billionaires, they can decide, Zuckerberg can decide whether he's going to wear fucking a Jerry curl today, or he's going to shave his head, or he's going to wear a gold chain, or build a fucking statue to his wife, or fucking like demean her, right? He has enough money to decide to do all those things. We don't have that option. We have to keep moving like fucking shrimp in the ocean, like fucking snails on the ground. If we stop moving, we die. So guess what? We don't have that option. We have to love all fucking people equally. Some of that's going to fucking sting. And we have to fucking, mobilize as many people as we can. And some of that's not going to fucking work. We just have to keep on moving. We don't have an option here. There's no game. There's no strategic or theoretical or academic fucking exercise to do here.
That's I'm kind of coming back over and over to that point of like, because me in my daylight life where I'm not sitting in front of a video game background. Although I do feel very red light. Who's that Sting? Red light? JP.
Yeah.
Who's that? Who's red light?
No.
I feel very sitting in the window right now. I feel like a pretty woman in the window. And so I think the thing that I have conversations all the time like, what's the strategy? Part of the strategy is like, get out there and do something. Like, just get out there and do something. If you think you're the one to talk to the MAGA uncle who like maybe voted for Obama in the first term, go talk to that uncle and do that, right? If you think you're the one to like, I'm starting the stream and doing TikTok and Instagram. Like, I'm like, let's see who else can. Roxanne, thank you, chat. Turn on your red light. Thank you, chat.
I tell my kids, which they're both going to say they never heard this because I've never said this in real life. But I'd like to think I tell my kids, prove them wrong or bring them along, and that's got to be the strategy. That's all you can do.
Oh. Prove them wrong or bring them along. What?
Come on.
Okay.
That's good, huh?
That's good.
That's a sound
That's
bite.
good. That's good. Prove them wrong or bring them along. Can you say that again? What do you tell your kids? Blue? We got to get the AI to clip this. Hold on.
Every day.
What do you tell your kids?
As soon as they wake up in the morning, and before I even say good morning or get up you're late for school, I say, prove them wrong or bring them along.
Prove them wrong or fucking bring them along.
Lessons.
I think that's a good place to end because I'm also getting I'm getting text messages from my wife who's like, when are you gonna stop playing your reindeer games and get out of my office?
In your she shed? Does everyone know you're broadcasting from a she shed?
I am broadcasting from a she shed. This is my transgender shed, everybody.
It's a he shed at night.
It's a she shed by day. No.
The gender affirming care for your shed is
I have gender affirming care for my shed. This is what they are scared of actually, is that the sheds won't be gender delineated at the Home Depot.
That's right.
And that they're gonna end up in a she shed when they should be in a he shed.
And for legal purposes, we have to call it a shed.
No.
Or anything else.
I mean, zoning legal. I mean, laws. Like, let's get real. The thing that turned me into a libertarian more than anything else
was a fucking hoa. Was
fucking buying was like having to deal with these fucking motherfuckers being like, this is what you can do with your land. Okay.
For our sheds, JP, they're coming for our sheds, man.
They're coming for our sheds. You know what? Out of my cold dead hands, you can take my shed. Okay. This is the last thing because I referenced this earlier. This thing that's happening on TikTok about Rage Against the Machine, and because if you're old, you can raise your hands. That's why you're here. I know I know, right? I'm old. Rage Against the Machine. I remember, man, it was a tape with the burning monk on the front of it.
Oh yeah.
Oof. Yeah. That was like the most. I had like a Guns N' Roses record when I was like a child, but that was the most like fucking metal punk thing I had ever seen anywhere.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's see. This will be the last thing, and then we'll head out for the night. Hold on. If I can learn how to use this thing that we're using, one day we'll learn. There we go. Here she is.
Those that burn crosses are the same that hold office. And some of those that burn crosses are the same that hold office. And some of those that
TikTok is full of TikTok. You're winning. Thank you, TikTok, for
it's all there.
It's all there. It's all there. All right, Blue. We did another night of streaming.
That's right.
I learned a couple of important things. Is when you get up to pee in the middle of the night, don't turn the light on.
No.
And if you're someone who stands to pee, you can bend to clean in the morning.
That's right.
I learned that Kanye is really into back pages, or was at some point. R.I.P. back pages. And yeah, it was a hard week, and we came in more rageful, I think, than normal.
I think so.
Do you know what the internet needs?
What's that?
More men rage. I think the internet needs a lot more rage from men.
Right wing.
Right wing.
Yeah.
All right, chat. Thank you. You're wonderful. We're going to end the stream.